What's wrong, my pancake?
Just tell him and try to solve it together. Or just don't. Nothing.
This is one of the most adorable examples of something called cognitive dissonance that I've ever seen. Cognitive dissonance is when you have more than one thought or feeling or belief inside and they don't agree with each other. It's completely normal. I would say that every single human ever has experienced something like this. It doesn't mean that you're nuts. It doesn't mean that you have multiple personalities or anything like that. Therapy in general is helpful for learning how to navigate these confusing feelings, but there's one specific modality that I think is probably the most helpful. This modality is called Internal Family Systems, or IFS. This is a theory that looks at every human being as a system with protective and wounded parts, which are led by a core self. A lot of us have a really hard time accessing our core self because the protective parts are doing such a good job. These parts that are wounded and protective are typically parts that develop during a younger stage of our life. These parts develop when we're going through things that are really traumatic or really painful to help us get through them and survive, especially when we're really young and we haven't really developed a set of positive coping skills yet. The little devil and angel on the shoulder depicted in this super cute cartoon are examples of two conflicting parts. This is also an example of something that I would say most of us have experienced in some type of relationship, a lot of times in romantic relationships. Someone might ask, what's wrong? Something is definitely wrong, but there are two parts of you that are fighting to decide how to handle the situation. There's one part of you that knows logically and understands that expressing how you're feeling will probably yield the best outcome, and also that desperately wants to feel safe being vulnerable. There's another part of you that is equally as desperately trying to protect you and trying to convince you that absolutely no way, in no shape or form, is it safe to express how you actually feel, leave yourself vulnerable and open to being hurt again and again and again, because it's probably happened a whole bunch of times in the past. But that doesn't mean that it's going to continue to happen in every relationship. Both of these parts are giving it the best they got to keep you safe. There's a really great book called No Bad Parts that helps give an understanding of this. All of this is to say that it's totally normal to have conflicting thoughts and feelings, and that every single one of the parts inside is on your team. There are ways to dig deeper if you're willing and help the parts learn to understand each other and work together.